To start off, I'm actually going to do my underarms. That is what motivated me to do this video today because my hair has been growing in for quite a long time and I really want to get this hair off. So the first thing I'm doing is just dabbing up the moisture with a little gauze square. You could also use a dry washcloth, something like that. And then go ahead and put some powder on the skin. This will protect the skin, but also just kind of adds a little bit more drying power to clean up any extra sweat that might be under the arms. I've also found powder does help keep you from getting stuck as easily. I am going to use a glove just to, I'm also putting a little bit of powder on my hands. And that just helps the glove slide on a little bit easier. It is a really tight glove and the fingers don't pull off easy. So you do, if you are going to wear a glove, make sure it's a tight glove like that. To get a ball of sugar, you don't want very much, just a tiny. Sometimes on underarms, the hair grows up. So I'm going to go against the hair growth and flick with the hair growth. But you can also kind of take a peek at your hair and just see which direction it grows. If you're not sure, you can kind of go every which way or go sideways. I know it's hard to see on your underarm. I did start with the sugar melted down a little bit. If you start with it room temperature, you might need to put it on a little bit slower just so it has time to kind of melt on. So now I'm going to go sideways on these hairs. The hairs in the middle kind of grow in and out. Now if you are wearing a shirt, the sugar, if it does get on my shirt, it does come off with water, so I'm not too concerned about that. But you could always remove your shirt or tuck something. Maybe I'll even just tuck this down a little bit so it's tucked out of the way. If you can't see your underarm, you can look in a mirror. I have a mirror down on the table to kind of help. Looks pretty good. I think I got most of the hair. Okay, so now to do the other side, I can't really use the same hand. So I am going to use the stick just to kind of demonstrate a different option. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to just spray some of this toner spray and wipe down this underarm because I could feel like a little bit sticky still. And the sugar just comes off with water, so it doesn't take much to just get that sticky out of the way. Okay, so this one's going to be with my left hand. So I'm going to use a smaller piece of sugar just since my left hand is not as talented. Is that a good word? Okay, so I'm kind of using my fingers here to pinch the skin back. Let's see if I feel like it's not quite tight enough. Okay. I find that I am using quite a bit of like force to lift it off, so if you're not pulling hard enough or quick enough, it might not come off. So just make sure you're using that little bit of force. It's especially if you have really thick underarm hair. I noticed that with bikini line too. The hair, if it's really thick, you just need to use a little bit more force. If the sugar does get melty, because underarms are really warm, so sometimes you'll find that the sugar just starts getting melty and you can't quite get it to flick off because it's not staying in its shape. You can use a strip to pull it off, and in that case you would just put the strip over the skin, over the sugar, and push it into the sugar. It kind of like melts into the strip, and then just pull the strip off. Just make sure you're holding your skin as tight as you can before you pull the strip. So the nice thing about sugaring, even though you might want to take a shower afterwards, possibly, but you don't need to do this in the shower, so you do save a little bit on water usage. You can do it kind of any time of day, wherever you're at. Doesn't even have to be in the bathroom necessarily. Okay, so that part, I feel like I just can't quite get the skin tight enough, so let me just put a strip down. And I'm just gonna lean back just to make it as tight as I can naturally, and then I just pull it off like that. I just felt like I couldn't quite get the skin tight enough right there. Okay, that looks nice and clean. So then as the post, you could even just spray that right on, and then use like a washcloth or one of the gauze squares to dry it up. So that is it for the underarm.